So I believe that being attractive is a superpower, and it's not because life automatically becomes easy, but it's because people start to treat you differently. Because you create a stronger first impression, you'll carry more confidence, and you'll start to notice that opportunities will start coming your way. But the best news is being attractive doesn't have to be something that's limited to just anyone. You can actually start to leverage your attractiveness today. And in this video, I'm gonna walk you through how to become the most attractive version of yourself. Okay, so the very first pillar that we have to talk about it is none other than the gym. I feel like the gym is where you build your foundation. Just like a house, you cannot build a big, strong house on a weak foundation. And the gym is where you get your foundation, like I mentioned before. So we're currently at the gym today. Today I just trained back and some shoulders, but the gym by far is the best non-surgical way to truly transform your body. It gives you the confidence knowing that you worked on yourself. You step into rooms more proud. And I'm sure you've seen a ton of gym transformations, people going from this to that and completely transforming their entire physiques. And all of that was built in the gym. I really do believe that the gym is the highest ROI activity. From the mental clarity that you get, the confidence that you build, there's no better place in the gym. And you know we had to talk about it. You can work on a lot of your insecurities. So for me personally, one thing that I was insecure about for a while was my arms. And this has been a place where I can actually naturally grow them and actually be proud of the progress that's being made. If you want to become your most attractive self, you need to prioritize the gym. For me personally, I'm currently doing a 5-day-a-week split. It's pretty intense. I manage it across different body parts. And sometimes on odd days, I do light cardio such as walking and running. But overall, this has been my split. And I feel like the last thing I'll say is as you start to prioritize your physique, your health, and overall becoming the best version of yourself, you walk differently, your posture's differently, you step into rooms differently, and all that energy radiates across the board. So let's not neglect the gym. And comment down below how many times a week are you currently training within the gym. All right, let's go.
So your skin is the very first thing people will notice about you once they look directly at your face. And one thing I find unique about skincare is that every single person I've met with flawless skin also prioritized their skincare and had a skincare routine. Now in this video, I'm not going to talk directly about what products you should buy. However, the most typical routines I see and work well for a lot of people is having a cleanser, a toner, and a moisturizer. And bonus points if you throw in a few serums. But it shouldn't be no secret to all of you that prioritizing your skin is an essential way to make yourself even more attractive. I also want to emphasize that there's a lot of things that contribute to having a clear skin: genetics, diet, lifestyle choices. So although I do recommend having your own skincare routine, it is also important to not neglect these other important areas as well. And I'm always hesitant about sharing my direct skincare routines because one, I'm waiting on a brand sponsorship before I start promoting a bunch of products. And two, I understand that skincare is not a one size fits all. Something that works well for me may not work exactly well for you based on the type of skin you have. Some people have dry skin, some people have oily skin, and some people might be more sensitive to certain products than others. And I personally seen the difference between my skin once I have a routine and once I don't have one. And one of the biggest things I learned from having a skincare routine is just remaining consistent. It took me some time before I got to a point where my skin was consistently doing well. And even though I do have the odd breakouts here and then, I'm ultimately proud of the direction that my skin's heading in. Funny enough, my skin has done so well that other people have actually given me a ton of compliments on it. And I currently have a morning and nighttime skincare routine, and it's something I do every single day. And I truly believe it should transform my attractiveness. And one more important aspect of skincare is prioritizing also sunscreen. I've heard a lot of common misconceptions of people of certain ethnicities not needing sunscreen, but I can assure you that the UV is very powerful and you should be prioritizing and protecting your skin at that. So I'm going to wrap up the rest of the skincare and we're going to continue on with the rest of the video.
So I want you to understand that being attractive isn't only physical, it's also how you walk into rooms, how you step into spaces. And what's crazy about this part is it's probably the most underrated, but one of the most important ones. Like, how is your posture when you walk into rooms? Is your head up or is it down? Are you able to look someone directly in the eye or do you look away? These are all things that will level up your attractiveness when you prioritize them because it shows that you are a confident person and people trust confident people. So one of the biggest misconceptions with style is that you need to spend a fortune to look good, but I'm here to tell you that it is not true. You can look great without breaking the bank through a variety of different ways: shopping at thrift stores, shopping for things your size, building in the right foundation through the gym, and so much more. I think what's most important is first figuring out what your style is, like what things complement you. I know wearing a lot of gold jewelry looks nice on me, and that's something that I leverage. Or certain colors look better on me than other colors, which is why I'm predominantly seen within those colors. And I think once you can get that with your own unique sense of style, you'll level up your own attractiveness in your own way. way. So the last thing I'll say with fashion is that there's no need to break the bank. Don't ever have this misconception that you need all these big expensive items just to look good, because that's one of the biggest facades I've ever heard. All right, on to the next pillar. All right, so another pillar of your overall attractiveness is your hair. And your hair is very important because it essentially frames your face. I think a big mistake a lot of people make is just trying to follow random trends with their hair. But what I've seen work well for myself and others is to do something I like to call phenotypic framing. And essentially what it is you find someone who has a similar facial structure to you, and then from there you see their hairstyle. And if it's something that you like or you think it would look good on you, you give it a try. So for me, that looks like getting particular haircuts, and I've went through a ton of different styles. Some worked and some didn't, but ultimately I feel like I'm at a point now where I like my overall style, and who knows, I could change it in the coming years. But what I did at the time was actually get inspired by other phenotypes that look similar to mine, and thought to myself, you know, this might be a good overall hair aesthetic for myself, and I went with it. And I know hair can be a sensitive topic for some people. Some people are at different stages of their hair journey. Some people are losing their hair. So I don't want you to get too obsessed with this part. And I truly believe you can still optimize your hair in the best way possible. So even if you are at a position where you're losing your hair, you can prioritize other areas such as your beard. But I truly believe your hair is a very important aspect of your overall face and attractiveness, and it's something that you should prioritize. For me, how I take care of my hair, usually around every 2.5 weeks, I would get a haircut. And I know I'm privileged to say that, but I know for me, my hair can grow back. Like right now, it's pretty grown out, and I like to keep it low and sharp, which allows me to have a more defined frame and enhance my overall appearance. And one more thing I want to add in terms of your grooming and hair grooming is to just maintain it and prioritize it. I like to think of your hair almost like growing grass. You can cut the grass, it looks good for about a few weeks, but after a while it'll grow out and it gets messy, so you still have to take care of it. Washing and conditioning your hair will ensure that it's healthy, and it'll allow you to optimize for your own hair health so that you'll have healthy hair going forward. All right, so the next pillar that I want to touch on was diet. Now, diet is a very essential part of your overall physique because it actually plays into a lot of other pillars. With the right diet, it's going to be a lot easier to build the right physique. With the right diet, your skin is going to show more clear, and so many other things. And it's important to understand that all of these pillars kind of connect with each other. You'll notice that if you have the right style, this is going to allow you to have the right accessories, or it's going to be very difficult to build the right physique with a poor diet. And with diet, there's so many variations that I'm not going to get into it within this video, but what I will say is I'm a huge advocate of prioritizing whole foods so that you're getting your right macronutrients in. Another thing is I believe that you should be aware of foods and how they impact your body. So for me, for example, when I consume a lot of dairy products or eat a lot of greasy foods or drink a lot of pop, I notice that my face actually breaks out, which again connects back to the skincare. And the best thing about diet is when you're prioritizing having a healthy diet, you typically have more energy, more confidence, and it's going to allow you to radiate and allow your attractiveness to show much better. All right, for this next pillar, we're going to talk about accessories. Now, accessories are basically the enhancement to your style. Accessories can range from so many different things: earrings, necklaces, bracelets, rings, etc. The first thing I want us to understand with accessories is you should find accessories that complement your skin and skin tone. So like I mentioned before, for me, I wear a lot of gold jewelry. So I got like a gold ring here, gold bracelet, currently wearing a gold chain. But the reason why I do this is, one, I believe that the gold contrasts really nice with my skin, and ultimately it allows these accessories to pop. A few common rules for accessories is I don't believe that they should overpower your look, but instead they should enhance it. On top of it, you want to find things that work for you and go and complement your style. So like at the time of this recording, I wear earrings because I think they look nice and they complement my style. And I also want to remind you, with accessories, it's okay to be adaptable and change over time. Like, who knows, I may not be wearing earrings forever, but the cool thing about having different accessories is you can be versatile with them. You can wear a nice chain on one occasion, and other occasions you might have to put on a nice bracelet or a nice watch. But to me, accessories are like the icing on the cake, and if you can prioritize a few accessories in your arsenal, I think it's going to really enhance your overall attractiveness. But just like your style, accessories can get quite expensive, and I'm a big believer to shop within your budget because there are a ton of affordable options available for you, from different rings, from different bracelets to earrings and necklaces, and these price ranges can vary drastically. So, and maybe over time as your income increases and you can afford nicer accessories, you can look to splurge on yourself a little bit more. But one of the coolest things about accessories is that you can actually pass them down, especially if you take good care of them. So for example, I have a gold bracelet and I got it when I was 3 years old, and I still wear it to this day just because the gold has held its value over time. It's an adjustable size, so I can adjust it to my own wrist size right now. And ultimately, accessories can be something that you pass down to a loved one if kept in good condition and if they're really nice. So yeah, that's it for accessories. A very important pillar. They do complement your style quite well, but their role isn't to overpower your style, but rather it's to enhance it. All right, let's go on to the next pillar. pillar. All right, so another very important pillar is teeth and oral care. Now, interestingly enough, studies have actually shown that people who prioritize their oral care are often perceived as more trustworthy, more attractive, and more healthy. And it's no wonder why we see so many Hollywood stars or people in the limelight with basically perfect teeth, because your teeth are a major contributor to your overall attractiveness. They're gonna contribute to your smile when you talk and you open up your mouth. So let's talk about how we can maximize our oral care to become the best versions of ourselves. Now, for me, I can share what I do. So I brush my teeth twice a day. I consistently use mouthwash. I consistently floss my teeth, and I use a tongue scraper. And these are all to ensure that my teeth are being presented in the best light possible. And these are things that we can all do on a consistent basis to really ensure that we get the best results for our teeth and oral care. And the crazy thing with having bad oral care is that you never forget that person. I'm sure you have a few people that you've talked to before and they just had a terrible breath, and they've always stuck in the back of your mind because oral care is one of the most underrated pillars to your overall attractiveness. And oral care can get quite nuanced. So for example, we're seeing nowadays more people use things like veneers to really get perfect teeth, but I know veneers can be quite expensive. So then there's other options like Invisalign or even braces. I actually had braces for a few years, and that's how I got my teeth to become straight, because I used to have spaces in them. But let's say that right now, none of these options are within your budget. I don't want you to stress about that right now. What I do want you to focus on is actually just prioritizing your oral care, making sure you're brushing your teeth at a minimum of twice a day, making sure you're using an appropriate mouthwash, flossing your teeth consistently, because this will be the foundation of having healthy oral care, having confidence when you open your mouth and you speak towards others, and overall having a beautiful white smile that radiates across the room. All right, so the very final pillar is the pillar of time. And one thing I've noticed with just ourselves as humans is we're always evolving. Like, for example, when I look at myself 10 years ago, I don't look the same as I do today. And it's probably the case with you as well. So when we talk about attractiveness and stepping into the most attractive version of yourself, it's really important to know that these things take time. Although we talked about physique transformation, diet, skincare, and so much more, I want you to understand that these changes typically don't always happen overnight. It will be a process, it will take time, but if you're someone who's looking for specific help on this matter, you can book a call with me for my one-on-one coaching and we can see if you're a good fit. On top of that, I'm currently building out a wait list for my high performance community. So this is where you can connect with other like-minded individuals who are on a similar mission to chasing after their goals, ambitions, and desires, and where we can go on topics like this way more in depth. So if that interests you, there's a waitlist community form sign-up sheet, and once it launches, you'll be the first to be notified. But that is it for today's video. I mean, we went over quite a few different pillars that you can focus on becoming the most attractive version of yourself. And a lot of people might think that this is vanity, but if you haven't watched my video on why it's important to become the most attractive version of yourself, I highly suggest you check that out, because if you want to become the best version of yourself all around, your appearance does matter. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe as we continue to build this channel into something amazing. And you know what I always say, make sure to always believe that you will achieve. My name is Miles, aka Mr. High Performance, and I'll see you in the next one. Woo!